Have you ever struggled to decorate walls in Minecraft? Well, then this tutorial is for you. I have found the easiest way to make your Minecraft walls look absolutely stunning, and you won't believe how simple it is. Minecraft wall decorating is very important for builds. It helps them look better, but also it shows your personality in the builds and what you're trying to get across as to what the build is. Now, of course, when you're in creative, you have infinite access to all these decoration ideas and blocks, but when you're playing in creative, you don't get to just click and use a green banner if you want or a head. You have to go and get it yourself, so it makes it a little bit more difficult, but it's just as important and satisfying to do in survival as it is in creative. Maybe just a little more tedious. Or maybe you're struggling with the ideas portion. This video will cover all those topics, so let's hop into it right now. Now, of course, when you're talking about walls, there's actually two facets to this. There's exterior walls and designing that to make it look good, but there's also interior design to make it look like homey and cozy vibes. Or maybe for function on the inside as well. Decorating both of these are very important to make your builds look even better. Let's take a blank wall, for instance. This is just a wall of one block. This is spruce planks, top to bottom. And of course, it is visually interesting because the texture has a lot of detail in it with the planks. But when you really start to go away, you start to lose that detail and it just looks like one blob of color. It's also flat. It's completely flat. So if you're looking at it from the side, there's nothing. There's no visual interest whatsoever. So that leads me to the core of this, that there's really three easy ways to detail a wall properly, and that is depth, texture, and detail, or DTD if you want to abbreviate it. This is too big of a scale to show this on, but if we come over here, we're going to start by taking a plain flat wall, just like that, and turning it into something using these three techniques, the DTD, like I said. So first, let's add depth. Depth is important to detailing walls out. How I'm going to add depth here is by introducing some sort of pillar block. So whether that is in the wall itself, like that, or popping it out, which I prefer most of the time like so, that adds depth. So we go from being a flat wall to being a more popped out wall that now has two blocks of depth to it, to where when you're looking at it from the side, there's bits that stick out. This is just the first step of that process though. So to add more depth, instead of using things like stained glass blocks, you could introduce panes. And instead of this, just have it be inset a little bit. Because of how panes work, they don't take up a full block. So therefore now you have it to where it's popped in just a little bit more, adding just that much more depth. And with doors, you can do something similar. You can set it back even more. So instead of placing it like this, you place it like this, and then you have that much more depth. If you really want to get crazy, you can start implementing stairs into it and start putting things like that on the build, and even doing it on the other side if you want, and do it like this to where you kind of got a little seat in the wall where the window was. Or you can make your door bigger, make it a two wide door, and add like a trap door element. In this case, I might even do something like this and pop out these blocks here, put some stairs like so, and then on this side is where I'll put my doors and trap doors to make it like it's a 3 tall door or 2.5 tall door that's archwayed. And it just adds another layer of depth, because now you're taking up 3 block spaces with this one, and this one to add more depth. You could even turn this window into a bay window. I'm just trying to give you options of stuff you could do. Don't feel like you have to do all this. You could make this into a bay window though, to make it just a little bit bigger and better. It's a cool idea. So you could go like this, and then actually I will make it 3 tall. Go like this. This is how I like to do it. Place those there, that there, that there, and this here to give it a nice little curve and depth to it. And then on top, you do the same thing that you did on the bottom with the curved stairs, like so. Now you got a bay window. If you really want to get fancy with it, you can even come inside and tweak some of the blocks to make them curved, like you have another sitting area here. You can put a window up there, but just adding simple things like this adds depth into your wall to make it more detailed. Now that we got depth down, let's talk about texture. So it's important to not have all the same block, because like I said before, when you go really far away, it all looks like it blends together, and it really makes your eye not like how it looks very much. So instead of just doing all one texture, find blocks that have similar coloring to the block you're using. In this case, I'm using spruce. We're gonna add in some oak wood patches and some stripped spruce patches. And if you really want to get crazy, you can add in some darker colors, like you're adding in some shadowing or stuff like that, just to messy up the textures. And there we go. So you can be as random with this as you want, or you can be very specific if you're trying to create shadows and like a gradient. I would recommend gradient because random kind of gets a little busy as well, kind of like this. It is an improvement, but I would kind of recommend doing gradients or shadowing, or trying to emulate that with your placement. That's kind of what I did here a little bit. I emulated some sort of shadowing a little bit, but here you go. So instead of just having all one block, I have like 4 blocks scattered in here now. And it looks good. It adds that much more layer of detail. Actually, it adds texture, because now we're adding detail. And with detail, now that you've mastered depth, you've mastered texture, now we're gonna start adding in some detail. Now, of course, there's different details for different things, but you can do different things. Obviously, you got windows, that's sort of a detail, but it does add depth as well. It kind of falls into both categories. Same with doors. And same with textures, but you can add in details. Something that's very common to add in for the detail section is like a shutter of some sort. So if we go here and like place in these blocks, it's like a shutter that'll be on this window. Maybe you don't want it there, maybe you want it on the other side, I don't know. So you place it here instead. And then if you want it on both sides, because it's a double wide window, you could extend this one out, or you could put it on this side as well, because then you have shutters for both sides. Something else that's really common to add in is like little window boxes for your builds here. So you put a little like detail bits around this, and it's like there's gonna be a grass thing here, and then now you can put flowers, plant flowers here if you want. And it's a little window box. I actually switched this over to be a different block because that was starting to look a little too blendy and same. So you can change up the blocks if you want to make it not blend as much. But then you got that. You can add in like bushes in the front to make it stand out a little bit more, like it's a little garden area. And do stuff like that, because you got these azalea bushes. You got so many options. I mean, if you go in here and go to nature, look at all these nature blocks we have in this game now. It's absolutely insane. There's so many options and potential for things to do. You could make a little flower box if that works for you, or not flower box, but like a little garden area even. So you got this stuff, you got flowers you're putting in here, you got grasses you're gonna spread around, something like that. So that's all well and good for detail on the outside, but when you're trying to detail the inside, there's so many options you can do for this as well. I mean, you can put in paintings. You could hang up some nice paintings on the wall, like I was saying. Holy cow, that's a big painting. You could put tripwire hooks to emulate like it's a weapon rack, or like something to hang your coat on. You could put up some shelves even, where you put them on the top of one of the blocks and then place a head on it. Or you could place like a pot and put something in there. You could put an armor stand and start placing your best armor on there or something. There's so many, and now of course that kind of is like a ground detail, but usually it's up against the wall like that. There's so many options to detail out a build when it comes to interior as well as exterior. Let me show you one of my builds where I practiced all these techniques together and took my build from something like this to something like this. I think this build here is a recent build I've done that has a good use of the depth, texture, and detail that I was talking about and showcasing for you. So for the exterior walls, you know, I started with something simple, and then I switched up the texture on the edges. And instead of doing the jut out pillars, I did inset pillars, but I changed the texture enough to where it looks like it adds depth because it's something different on the bottom and the top. Then I have these signs acting as a layer of depth that go around in different things, acting like support beams to hold it all together. In the windows, you got things that jut in, that come out a little bit. You got buttons on the outside to act like exterior little jut outs of the rocks. And then on top of that, you got things that come out like this. I mean, you got portions of the build. Now this is part of the build itself, but it adds to the detail portions, kind of like I was talking about with the shutters and things like that, or even jutting out signs where they're gonna label what they're selling here. Stuff like that is adding those three things: the depth, the texture, and the detail. But if we go inside now, you can see I got paintings on the wall. I got those things, tripwire hooks, like they're hooks on the wall. I got the inset layer for windows, so they're not just flat windows. I got a wall that's dedicated to books and like a bookshelf wall. I got these pillars are jutting out to where it adds like another little archway where it would be a wall with a door on it. There's so many depth, texture, and detail things that are here, and I even have an armor stand mod on here where it looks like it is hanging from that itself. But just adding in those things. You got a fish hanging up on the wall. I don't think I have an example. Oh, I have shelves hanging up there where, oh, for some reason that was down. But they have something stored up there. And there's just so many ways to add the depth, texture, and detail into your walls as a good example here. And even see all this different texture in here is similar to what I was showing you before. So I hope that this little tutorial talking to you about the depth, texture, and detail of helping you decorate and design your walls to be better, to detail them out, help them look better. I hope that this was useful for you. If it was, make sure to leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. I encourage you to try out all these tips on your own builds and comment what your favorite ones are that I showcased in this video. And if you want to go ahead and show them to me, send me tag me on Instagram, send them to me on Twitter. I have all the links in the description down below, so you can send them or tag me in them, and I'd love to see them. And then yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, like I said. So subscribe for more building content, Minecraft building content, tips and tricks like this, and I'll see you in the next video, everyone. Take care, have a great day, and goodbye.
Hey, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that green button right there to subscribe, and check out these two videos that YouTube is recommending just for you.